And we've got a great one in store between the Houston Texans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. In the AFC Championship game, off we go in the divisional round of the NFL playoffs. And no run back here, so they'll bring it out to the 25. They'll run for the first time with Travis Etienne. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. A handoff for Etienne. Fights him off.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Etienne on the toss right. Ricardo Allen, the safety, makes the stop.
Give credit to the defense for stringing that play out, and they gave up no cutback angle. You know he was trying to dart through. No place for him to go. A nice job there, only giving up a 3-yard gain.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. A shotgun snap and a give to Etienne. And getting this just shy of midfield. They'll spot it at the 49.
They did tell us they wanted to establish the ground game early, didn't they?
They did, in a small sample size that we've seen so far, but pretty good return.
Yeah, you got to like that. They've strung together a couple of first downs, established what they wanted, the running game. And guess what? They also got their lead guy running it pretty well, too.
On 1st and 10, it's Etienne. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
On this drive so far. It's 1st and 10. A give to Etienne running right. A good gain of 9 before he's brought down at the 28.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Here's 2nd and a yard. A give running right, Etienne. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 55 rushing yards for him already. An excellent drive to kick off this divisional round matchup. That might be an understatement. And that is is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
That's what you're going to need to do against those big receivers. You got to get in there and get physical with them. That time he got in close, got in tight, and knocked the ball away.
2nd and 10. Here's a give to Etienne. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes the defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
On 3rd down, Lawrence. And he fires one that's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And the Texans are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. So the special teams penalty cost some yardage there as they come out on 1st and 10. A give to Elliott. Elliott a first down and more. Ezekiel Elliott going to take it the distance. Touchdown, Houston. Ezekiel Elliott, 91 yards. And the Texans are on the board first here in this division round matchup. They talked about stringing together some explosive plays here in the playoffs. That was a pretty explosive play.
It certainly was. And if you're going to win on the road, it certainly helps to have big playability in your hip pocket, doesn't it?
Crosby with the extra point, and it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
So the incompletion, and now it's 2nd and 10, again from the 25-yard line. Now Lawrence to throw. And he'll let this one go deep for Chark. And it looked like he got the feet down, did he? Yes, it's a catch. And he will get this into the end zone for a Jaguar touchdown. DJ Chark, 75 yards. And the Jaguars are within an extra point of tying this one up. And it's no good. He misses the extra point, and this remains a 7-6 game. Now he's back out there to boom this one away, maybe with some frustration after the PAT miss. And this will be a touchback, so they'll bring it out to the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Watson now to throw. Being chased out left. And Watson has enough for the first down yardage as he slides to the turf.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
The first down carried by Elliott doesn't amount to much as he'll get forward for about a couple.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Elliott running right. Looking for a cutback lane, but nothing there as he's met at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the play, and they're left with a 3rd and 8. And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. Here's Watson. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. The Texans send the punter out. Jamal Agnew is deep to return it. It's a 39-yard punt, 8 on the return, and the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. They're forced to play catch-up early in this division round game as they search for a seat in the AFC Championship round. They'll start on the ground. ETN. Oh, that's just not fair, and now room to run. And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21. 107 yards rushing for him now as he goes over the century mark here in this divisional round matchup. So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. After one, a 1-point game, 7-6. They go play action now. Lawrence. Going for it all. And too much juice. It'll be out of bounds, incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
An incomplete pass on 1st down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Lawrence. Throwing the out route, incomplete. That's Arnold. And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds.
And remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
ETN. And he's going to get him about 3 yards closer. He's down to about the 2. You talked about the need for them to establish the run early. They've been able to do that here in the first half.
And that means that the whole offense has adopted that attitude and that persona. We're going to take care of this young quarterback. Let's all get together and run it and take the pressure off.
From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. Once more, ETN. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4 down.
And this time he is in.
Yes.
Travis Etienne punching it in from a yard away. And the Jaguars have taken the lead. This time the extra point up and go. And that'll make this a 6-point game. After the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, do you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Back to throw, Watson. That'll be complete to Cook. And they're able to get this one across the 35.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space. And it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
On first down, it's Watson. Looking for Cooper, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. And some room to maneuver. And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. And we'll see if that pick 6 looms large as this game continues, because we've seen plays like that alter a lot of playoff contests over the years.
I would agree with that totally. And you often think to yourself, why do they alter it so much? Because after games, don't we hear coaches and players say, well, one play doesn't usually determine the outcome? But I don't think that's really true, do you? Because there's times when we see plays like that, and all of a sudden the momentum jumps to that team side, it deflates the other side, and they never pick it back up. And then things really go from there, don't they?
That's the thing for me. We talk about momentum changes. A play like that is the ultimate momentum change. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down officially at the 21. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And fresh off the pick 6, they've got to forget about that quickly.
In this case now, the guy throwing the ball, he's got to be like what we talk about with defensive backs who get beat for a long touchdown. Short-term memory, right back out there doing the things that he does best, and knowing that taking care of the ball is paramount. Here's his opportunity.
It all comes back to those defensive backs for the former DB, right?
I don't know where that comes from. It just kind of emerges out of me for some reason.
It's deep in there, right? On 2nd and 11 now. Watson. And there is Amari Cooper, his first catch.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and he passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
102 yards rushing for him now, as he has been strong here in the first half of this divisional round matchup. So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10. And a give this time to the tailback. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up 2nd down. To throw is Watson. It'll go as a gain of 4, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
That might feel like a little bit of a lost opportunity there for the offense because the defense brought pressure that time. And sometimes against that, you can get out to your running back, and it could turn into a big gain downfield. But what a nice job they did getting to him quickly and holding him to a short gain.
And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down. Out of the gun, Watson. He's going to loft one deep over the middle. And that is incomplete.
From a defensive perspective, they had exactly what you want anytime they want to throw the football. There was pressure on the quarterback. They were getting after him, and they tightened down on the receivers and forced the incompletion.
And the punt team on now as this one's sent away. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially. And out will come the offense as they take over. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments. Now, this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Play action. It's Lawrence. Tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. Desmond King picks it. And the Texans are going to get this back to their own 34-yard line. We remind you, as we've done all year, that coming up at halftime, we will visit with Jonathan Coachman, standing by in Orlando. He'll let you know what's going on here on a very eventful divisional round weekend. And he'll work this one up to about the 38. 5 yards is the tally on 1st down. That brings up 2nd and 5. The give is to Elliott. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. Here's Watson. Philip Dorsett hauls it in. And he is going to have a Texans 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. A 1st down carry by Elliott. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
They'll set up the screen to Elliott. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds.
For a second there, I thought that might break big. Screen pass. Looked like it was coming together. Looked like there was an opening. Still ended up with a solid gain.
Now a 1st down throw, Watson. And that is incomplete. So 17 seconds now on the clock here.
Normally being a big-bodied receiver plays to their advantage downfield. Go up and make the catch, take the hit, and pick up yardage. But in this case, the hit was timed really well and popped it free from his grasp.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Watson. And that will be incomplete with a clock down now to 13 seconds.
So much about defending the pass is being able to be right there the moment the ball gets to the receiver. And he was right in his hip pocket, helping force that incompletion.
Here comes the 7th play now of this drive as this is 3rd and 10. Now it's Watson. It's complete to Cook. And they will have a first down as they are definitely in field goal range now, down at the 20-yard line. Now whistles and a timeout with 3 seconds left in the first half. So 3 seconds here remain in the half. On is the field goal unit to see about getting 3 points. From the left hash, this from 37. The kick by Crosby is good. And that will do it for this first half. So it's on to halftime in this AFC divisional round matchup. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with a coach and our EA Sports halftime report. Win or go home, that's the name of the game, and we're back underway with the second half of this AFC divisional round. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive.
And Charles, that had to be an interesting locker room at halftime. This is a team that's had so much success this year. Haven't really had to deal with a lot of adversity at halftime, to be honest. But now here they are with their playoff lives on the line.
And I think when you're alluding to that interesting locker room, you're just wondering how are they handling that bit of adversity that they're seeing right now? Because I think this is a team that has to look to lean on the veterans at this point. We know we're better than this. We've proved it all season. Let them disseminate that confidence through the locker room. But this opening drive, it'll be an important one for them to give them a little jolt of confidence moving forward.
125 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
On first down, it's Elliott, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. Now Watson.
Oh, that's into a sea of bodies, and it's intercepted.
Picked off at the 40, and he will return this one to the 30-yard line. The first half did not go their way, and that's not going to help matters at all. An interception here on the opening drive of the third quarter.
Obviously not what they were striving to accomplish. But you know who's really upset on their team? The defense. Already trailing. They're going to be counted on to try and hold that score at least where it is.
From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Looking to throw, Lawrence.
And he's got his man in stride, complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. John Ross, a 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Jags take advantage of field position on the turnover to cash this one in. Extra point. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here.
2nd and 16.
Watson. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And incomplete on the deep ball.
The passing windows are just not there. That's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. Oh, a heck of a move.
Man.
And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return, and possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive, and they're hoping to redo their efforts in the last drive when they got into the end zone.
And just think of what it's like now on the sideline, because when you score a touchdown, you have to go over and look at the tablet and see what you did on the last drive. When you scored points, it's a whole lot better view than when you're trying to figure out how to fix things there.
The run got 4. Now they deal with a 2nd and 6.
Another tote for ETN.
And very little running room there. He did get a couple up to the 49.
Well, that's not a run that's going to make any of the highlight tapes, but they've been moving it well all game on the ground. This is another one that keeps them moving forward.
On 3rd down, here's ETN.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Johnson running left. In on the tackle, the former All-Pro Chris Harris.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about whether they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
And they'll run it. This is James Robinson.
That's a good, nice, crisp run for a 1st down. I wonder if the defense might have been loosened up a little bit, maybe anticipating a pass instead of the run that they got.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And running with power here. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. He had his eyes on the end zone once he hit the secondary, but they're finally able to slow him down.
Yeah, and I've got to look at this one from the defensive point of view. You just mentioned finally able to slow him down. They've got to figure out a way to make that at the point of attack, at the line of scrimmage, because once he gets through, he's shredding them.
And he'll be stopped just outside the 5 at the 6. Only a yard on the pickup there. 2nd and goal. Be interesting to see now what they do offensively down near the goal line after not much there that time.
As the offensive play caller, that may change your sequence now. Instead of coming right back with a running play, you may have...
And he takes it in. Touchdown, Jacksonville. James Robinson. A 6-yard touchdown run. And the Jaguars continue to show why it pays to play at home in the postseason as they add on to their lead. Extra point tacked on by Lambeau. And that pushes the lead up to 23. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. On second down, Elliott once more. And tough going there as he'll only get it up to about the 31. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second.
Oftentimes we praise an offense for their variety of being able to hit people with the run in the pass, but in this game, how about what we're seeing from the safeties? They are all over the field. Doesn't matter if they threw it or if they're trying to run it.
I don't think we've ever awarded an MVU, most valuable unit, but you're right, it might go to them in this game.
I like that, MVU. How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a fourth down. Well done.
The Texans send the punter out as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. On the return, here's Agnew. 35 yards that time on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And now you've got the clock winding down here in the third quarter. You're 3 scores to the good. What's your approach on this drive?
Too early to fully commit to playing the clock game. Yet at the same time, you're also not going pell-mell like you would in 2-minute offense. This is what NFL offenses call 4-minute football. Take the clock out of the game a little bit, wind it down, but at the same time, keep advancing the ball down the field.
Now ETN to start the drive.
And he'll be brought down right at the 45-yard line.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, they always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
A snap to Lawrence as he taps this forward.
And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. 1 quarter remains for the right to advance to the AFC title game. This is the National Football League on EA Sports. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Here's Lawrence. They'll try and set up the screen to ETN.
And he's got this down to the 35.
They ran that one well, and not only did they pick up a nice chunk of yardage on the screen, they sent a message to the defense. Rush the passer all you want, but you better be careful. We can hit you going back the other direction.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now a handoff, Johnson. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to wind up a loss of a full 3 yards on first down.
Brandon, it's clearly a running situation when you're up in the fourth quarter. They're going to have to stack the box and make it difficult for them to move the ball.
Made it very difficult right there. Now they need to repeat that effort.
Yeah, bring 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take to slow them down.
After the loss, they'll come up 2nd and 13.
Lawrence with the handoff to Robinson, fighting through.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, But they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where there'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
On third down, Johnson. Oh, an absolutely filthy juke. He's got some space now. Touchdown, Jaguars. Ty Johnson, 35 yards. And the Jaguars are drawing closer to a date in the AFC title game as they extend this fourth quarter lead. Point after by Lambeau, up and good. And the lead will swell by one more. And Lambeau now, after the touchdown, he'll kick this one away. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. Their hopes of advancing past this divisional round hanging by a thread, if that, as they begin here with a 1st and 10 on the wrong side of the scoreboard. And the 2015 first-round pick, Malcolm Brown, brings them down.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Elliott going to get it again on 2nd down.
Give him 6 yards on the carry. It's going to be 3rd and 3 now.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
The Texans on 3rd down. 3 for 7 so far in this game. This time it's 3rd and 3. And he will be very close to a first down, but I see the closed fist of the referee. And that means 4th down. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to bring up a 4th down. They'll run it with Elliott. He's been tough for this defense to handle, over 100 yards. You kind of knew that they were going to him on that play, didn't you?
They certainly did. That's one of those situations where you simply say, my best runner over my best blockers. Let's go.
Plenty of shouts from this crowd as they watch the replay. They want a challenge, and they're going to get one. The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
Left tackle Eric Fisher, the former Kansas City Chief, the guilty party.
After the penalty, it's Elliott. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. So a loss of 5, and it'll be 2nd down. They go to Elliott again. And this looks a lot like the last play. Behind the line of scrimmage, he's tackled for the 2nd straight go-around. Great job by this Jacksonville D. The Texans on 3rd down. They've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and forever. This is Elliott. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
The Texans send the punter out as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. They come up on a 4th down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. And on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt. And this offense will take over right at the midfield stripe with a 1st and 10. Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40.
Well, you know me, partner. I never tell them to back off of being aggressive, but sometimes you see the consequences when you're overly aggressive and you don't secure tackles. Guys break through.
Trying to sell out to pry that football loose, and just as you said, cost some yardage.
Yeah, you got to go get him. Stand him up first before you go for the ball. Don't just go for it initially.
They're not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. They run. Robinson. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
And they'll indeed take a knee. And, Charles, if you're the coach of the losing team, even though you made it to the playoffs and there's part of that that feels good, what do you say to your guys after?
I think you probably tell them how proud you are of them to make the effort to get to this game and then point them towards the future. If we're good enough to get here, all we've got to do is work harder, be better, and we can be good enough to go farther next season. How many times have we seen a team lose in the playoffs, and that girds them for a championship run in the future?
So that'll do it from